From Hollywood, California, welcome to Reza Riffs with your host, Keith Reza.
Hey, Rifters, welcome to the show. Our guest is the great Jack McGee, and he's here in the waiting room over Zoom, and we're going to just let him in, and it's going to be exciting. So excited to talk to Jack McGee. Hey, Jack.
Hi, how are you? Can you hear me?
I can. How are you? Thank you so much.
Right,
How are you?
I'm good. I want to. Can I leave here for 30 seconds? I want to get a glass of water so I don't.
Of course, you could leave us for 30 seconds. Yes.
All right, great. I'll see you in a bit.
All right, cool.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Oh, we will talk among ourselves. All right. Victor, how are you?
Great. I'm glad we get to talk.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I love it when people say talk to yourselves. It's like, I do that all the time, baby.
Well, that'd be funny if we're just hanging out and not saying anything. It's just like dead air.
Yeah.
For just 30 seconds.
One time I was on a date and this lady stood me up, so I just started talking to myself.
I hope you were alone when that happened. I'm sorry to say.
No. The bartender said, "Do you have multiple personalities?" I was like, "Yes."
That's the right answer.
That's a great answer.
Okay, I'm back.
Hi, Jack. So first things first, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. This is Victor Pacheco. He's the trusty sidekick.
Hello, Victor. How are you?
Great. Yourself, Jack?
I'm good.
So if you say anything funny and you just give Victor the nod, he'll laugh for you.
Oh, is that right? You don't have to give him a poke?
Yeah, that's the trusty side.
Just don't poke too hard.
So how was your play? I know we were talking a little, and you said that you just did a play. How was that?
Is this? It was actually, to say the truth. Let me see if I can get a little more light on the face. It was one of the most enjoyable things I've ever done in my career.
Yeah.
It was come out of the blue. I come from TV and film world. I haven't done theater work, certainly musical theater, since I was still a fireman in New York City, and I was doing community theater productions. Yeah. My Fair Lady, playing Dula, a couple of different things, but certainly haven't done it in over 40 years. And it was challenging for me because these young people, these dancers, were so good, so talented. It happened at the Coachella Valley Repertory Company out here in Cathedral City, because I live out in Rancho Mirage now, and it happened quite by accident. I met the director of the theater a while back, and I said, if there's anything that comes along you think you could use me for, I'd like to jump in. And I did. And although I was petrified for the first they only rehearsed for a total of 3 weeks. 20 people never met each other before.
Yeah.
And they put on this musical, Nice Work If You Can Get It, which was done on Broadway with Matthew Broderick and Kelly. I forget what Kelly's name was, but it was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And there were packed houses. Everybody loved it. It was a great experience, and we just finished the last show on Sunday.
I wanted to ask you, like, as an actor, do you ever have like anxiety on that? Because play and movies are totally different things. Like a movie, you could do it over and over again until you get it right.
Yeah, exactly. I was on suicide watch in the beginning because it was so difficult. Because the pieces of this, they put all of these people together, the dancers and singers, and we didn't even get into the theater. So it's a 200-seat theater. It's a beautiful theater, really well done. But we didn't even get into the theater until 2 days before we previewed.
Yeah.
So all of this work was being done in a music room. And then downstairs where they teach dance class, the dancing and all the choreography was done there. And then the dialogue was done up in one of the lobbies, all at different times. And I want to play one of the characters that just moves the story along. I played a senator who loves the sound of his own voice. Don't we have enough of that going on today? And and they and so I would come in and out of the show, but so it was hard to get some continuity for me as to how to play this guy and who he was and where he fit in, because everything was being done in different rooms, and the last 4 days they put it together in the theater. That means blocking it, spacing it, lighting it, teching it, and everything, and then plus us being in there. So it was petrifying.
Yeah.
It was petrifying for me because, like you said, when you do TV or film, something happens, you screw something up, you can get an opportunity to take another take. There ain't no second takes.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's not happening. It's live and it's exciting, but it all fell into place about the second or third performance in, and then after that it was freewheeling. But I marveled at the talent that they were able to get. Now they brought in kids, young people from they're all young. They brought in some folks from New York, from Los Angeles, all these dancers who they had auditioned and sent their stuff in. These are young people that come in, and a couple of older guys that have done a lot of regional theater. Yeah. So they can be totally prepared, knowing the language that the musical director was talking about vocally, and I come in like, what? Who are these people? Yeah. It was really I was very impressed with it.
When you told me you were doing a play, I was actually very impressed, because I come from the background of stand-up comedy, so I've only done one movie and I've only done one play, right. And I had way much more fun on the play than I did on the movie.
So, well, because you're in front of a live audience.
Yeah,
it's a different deal, and I was more comfortable with in front of the camera because I know it. I've been doing it for long enough, So I know, and I also know that if you have a page of dialogue, they do it 7 times before they even move the cameras in on you. So you warmed up. You're out on this stage there for sometimes, for the told play. You got to hit the mark. You got to come in, because the musical comedy is really specific, because there'll be a musical cue for you to walk in the door. And this is a farce. It takes place back in during Prohibition. So nobody is who they say they are. It's all left. It's all tongue in cheek. It's all there's humor in it, there's stuff in it. But then there's these magnificent dance numbers that were just. I was just flawed by it. So it was. There's a certain security. You know what you know. But when you learn, is that you can learn when you get outside of your comfort zone. And I was way outside of my comfort zone early on. It was quite an experience.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, we might go back a little, so you might not remember a lot because you've had a very great career. But I wanted to ask you, because before you went into acting, you were a firefighter.
I was a fireman in the Bronx. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and you've also coincidentally played a lot of firefighters. So I wanted to know, how is that? Like, when you get a firefighting script, you're like, all right, back to old times, or?
Well, it's just, you want to, when you're in the racket that we're all in, you want to get whatever work you can get. And as it turned out, I was a fireman in the Bronx for 10 years, and I was thank God for the fire department, because that's the job that enabled me to pursue the acting career. Because I was in my mid to late 20s, and I had lived about 50 miles north of New York, up in Putnam County. So what I decided to do is move back into the Bronx so I could be closer to Manhattan, to go downtown and see what this thing was like, getting involved with a theater group, to maybe get a showcase, to maybe get an agent to come and see you. Because I really didn't know how it worked. Right. I just knew that, I knew from a couple of people, you have to be in New York to do this. You can't do it from 60 miles away, because if they call you down for an audition, for a commercial, they want you there the next day. And so there were too much runaround. So long story short, I moved back into the Bronx, and I started, I got involved with a theater group down there, a scene study group, and a teacher. And I started to get an idea what the angles were as far as getting representation. So, long story short, they put showcases on, and I picked a piece that was really would show me in the light of we had 10 people in the show, and I put it together 5 10 minute scenes. Because if you get casting directors to come to see you, they can tell if they're interested in you within 10 minutes. You don't have to put them sitting through an hour and a half to see if they're interested in you. And that seemed to work, because the first showcase I did, I got commercial representation. And so that was it just kind of happened naturally. So I started doing a bunch of commercials. The first commercial I ever did was for Kellogg's Frosted Mini Wheats.
Nice.
One of the heads of a two-headed giant.
Oh,
I was crunchy wheat, nicely sweet. I was crunchy wheat. And all the guys in the firehouse broke my balls about they see it on Saturday mornings. Hey, look who it is, the two-headed dragon, till they found how much money I made.
Yeah, then they started saying, hey.
Then they grabbed me on the side and they said, hey, can you get me in on that? I said, yeah, fuck it. I'll get you in on this as soon as they do a horror movie, But God forbid they should tell you that they're proud of you. They're going to break the balls first. I used to go back home in the early years, and the guys would find me wanted, hey, when are we going to get to see you? I said, all right, let's meet at Hurley's on a certain day. And I walk in, and as I'm walking in, you'd hear them say, hey, look who it is, Robert De Niro, you fat fuck. What'd you do, girl? 30 pounds for your new role? And you're home. You know what I'm saying? You're home. That's the good news about that. But so that's how the deal started for me. And one thing led to another, and I don't know what the whirlwind was, but there's been over about 180 films and TV shows, and I like to deflect it with humor and say that's what happens when you sleep around. That's the only way we can get that happening.
Well, they do say, like, the scholars, that humor is the only form of truth that we actually have, and I actually do believe that.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, and I think we all have when you have the sense of humor, you can tap it. People ask me, where did you study? I said, I took one class when I was down there, and the only reason I took it, I was chasing a girl.
Yeah.
There was this girl, a woman in this class, and it worked out well for me. But that's the only reason I took the acting class. But my firm belief is I'm never gonna. Well, I shouldn't say I'm never capable of doing Shakespeare, because once you get through the language, it becomes different. You can get a grab on it. But you grew up in the Bronx in a building that 1,000 people lived in, and there were 10 buildings in the complex, right down to Yankee Stadium in the projects. When you walk out your door and you're exposed to 10,000 people on any given day, in the streets, walking around, playing in the playgrounds, going back and forth as a kid, you pretty much see every act there is. So that's where my life is like. I think that's what you use. I think in comedy too, you use your life experience with that.
Oh, definitely. So, like, I have a form of autism called Asperger's syndrome. So, 99% of my stand-up comedy is just talking about being on the spectrum and stuff.
Yeah. And that's people can relate to that when you get honest with them and tell them.
Yeah.
Meet people, and I think I become, I was anyway, that guy. Hey, that's that guy. I see that all the time. You're walking in airports and they look at you.
Yeah.
Hey, are you? I says, I don't know. What am I going to do with that?
Exactly.
What am I going to do with that? And then they say to you, hey, what have I seen yet? And man, this happens so many times. And I say, I don't know. What have you seen?
Yeah.
They say, well, I've seen everything. I said, I've been to everything. And invariably, I'd say, they'd say, no, come on, give me one. And I give them one. And they say, no, I haven't seen that. I said, then that frees me up. That frees me up to say, all right, fucko. Now, what do you want to do? Give you my whole resume? Stand here an hour with you, and you can check off the ones you didn't see? I appreciate the acknowledgement, but it's an interesting thing, you know.
At least buy me a steak dinner if we're going to do this, right?
This happens in an airport. You know what I mean? And usually it winds up being a chick that's uglier than me. So it's not like I have a lot of options. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just want to get out of there. You know, you know this, you like the attention, but then when somebody gives you too much attention, it's kind of like it can be a little bit uncomfortable.
Oh, no, definitely. Yeah.
Because everybody's important. Everybody's got a story. You know, you have Asperger's. Your sidekick there looks like he should be on the terrorist list. You know,
I'm Mexican, by the way.
Even more so.
I know this.
Even more so, yeah. And I'm going down to Puerto Vallarta in 3 weeks. It's everybody's got a little something about them that's a little bit different. And I think my connection with the roles that I play is going to have a great exposure. You know, growing six blocks from Yankee Stadium, you see every act there is, and people are people. You know, and if you and I kid with you and say I deflect these people I meet in the airport. I spend a little time with them. I have time because it's nice to be. You know, it's nice to be nice to people.
Definitely. It takes more effort to be mean.
Well, it takes work to be an asshole.
Yeah.
And then nobody wants to be around you anyway, you know?
Yeah, that's why I stopped talking to my grandfather.
Yeah. You sound like, you think you're talking to grandfather?
No. I was just saying, like, he was always so mean. He was like, "You're awfully fat for a child." I was like, all right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Then you get to say, you haven't even seen your dick without the help of a mirror in 20 years. What do you know what fat is? I come right back at my grandfather, and that'd be the last time Grandpa said that shit to me.
Yeah. But Jack, I did want to ask you one fireman question where this has nothing to do with acting, and I just want to know if this ever happened to you, because I heard that, like, when people have kids or whatever and they don't want the kid, they could just drop it off at a fire station. Is that true? And if so, has that ever happened to you?
I think no. That's no. I don't know if that's a true story. It may have been somebody's experience. I know that there were. That's a myth. I'm sure it probably has that from time. Yeah. No, we didn't have that. We had people that were homeless that would come by and stuff, and you know, and if they were unruly or something, we weren't allowed to have them come back into the firehouse just for insurance purposes, you know.
Yeah.
But no, that kind of thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm sure it has happened.
Okay.
I'm sure, you know, if you Google it, you find somebody that's lied about it or something. You know, maybe one of Trump's kids could get dropped off somewhere.
Maybe it is an urban myth. I feel kind of stupid now that I asked it. To be honest.
No, because I've heard it before too, and there's been television shows. I think This Is Us did that, didn't they?
Yeah.
Wasn't one of the kids dropped off at This Is Us? The hit series.
Maybe. Yeah.
Are you familiar with that series?
No, I don't watch depressing shows like that.
Yeah. Well, it's depressing and then fun at the same time too. I only watch them if I'm in them.
Yeah. Do you have a hard time watching yourself, or can you watch yourself?
If it comes up, it's you know, there's been such you sometimes it's hard to avoid because there's been and I've been very fortunate and I'm very aware of this. There's been over 180, 190 different things. So somewhere along the line, you're going to be flipping through the channels, or friends and family will always send you a clip of something they're watching in there, you know, and they send you a picture of their TV that you're on and stuff like that. And I don't know how to respond to that. So when I text them back, I just said, "Great, gas money." I get a residual gas money. Yeah, no, I'll ask him. Now, was it just your wife in the bed when she was watching this? So I was in bed with your wife.
Oh!
I try to turn it on him to get him to laugh.
Yeah,
you know?
that's what you gotta do.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about Showgirls because if we're being honest, a lot of people say it's one of the worst movies, but for men, it's actually like one of our guilty pleasures. You know what I
Well,
mean?
it's become a cult movie because then the word was out that it was one of the worst movies. I don't know, one of the this. All I know is that I had worked for Paul Verhoeven on what was the one with Michael Douglas?
Basic Instinct.
Basic Instinct.
Yeah.
I played the sheriff on that, and one of the sheriffs. And he called me and asked me if I wanted to go up to Lake Tahoe and work with naked girls for 5 weeks.
Yeah.
I think I could do that. I can help you out there, Paulie. You know. And so I went up and did it. And I know the way I get attached to a show is that it's the people that make it.
Yeah.
It's the guys and girls that make it, and they banged. They gave that poor girl who had to lead in it. They gave
Elizabeth,
her a hard time. But you know what? She was a sweet girl. She was great, and somebody cast her for it. I think the rumor was out that she was shacking up with Verhoeven. You know what I mean? So just for that alone, just the thought of her having to expose herself and see him in his body, Paul Verhoeven, is enough to warrant her the full salary and residuals for the rest of her life. But it was a great experience. I got to work with monkeys because there was a monkey alert in the show. And forget, and the monkeys were shitting down my leg on the stage and stuff, and everybody's all pushed out of shape. So I thought it was great.
Were you scared of the monkeys, or like? Yeah,
I'm scared. Are you kidding me? I have Italian relatives. I'm not scared of monkeys. I mean, you have to even watch them, but it was a fun experience, and I got to. Anytime you get to go away, you get the gift of being asked to go and work on a film for, I've gotten the opportunity. I worked for 2 months over in Thailand with Roger Moore.
Oh my gosh.
Roger Moore, a thing called The Quest. It was a movie that starred Jean-Claude Van Damme, or as Roger referred to him as Jean-Claude Venereal Disease. So here's the deal. So I go over there and I get to meet Roger Moore. And I'm excited. It's Roger Moore, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Well, so I say, hey, Roger, this is Jack McGee. It's nice to meet you. He said, I'm sure it is. I said, okay. So then about 20 minutes later, he's got a Band-Aid on his hand. He's here. Would you care for the Band-Aid of an international star? To which I replied, no, I already got one from Sean Connery, the real James Bond. So then he says to me, oh, the round man has a sense of humor. I said, well, yeah, 0 nothing. He does have a fucking good sense of humor.
Oh.
And then the love affair started for 2 months. What an incredible guy. Now, if you get a chance, if you know what, it's called The Quest.
The Quest.
Watch it. It's not a good movie because it's all it's Van Damme doing his deal, but it's shot so beautifully.
Yeah.
We spent 2 months off the coast of Thailand in these exotic locations. So it was a great experience, So you get to appreciate the opportunities that, and sometimes you're in something that really gets a lot of attention, like The Fighter.
Oh, The Fighter was amazing.
Playing their dad in The Fighter was a great opportunity. Or you get the TV series Rescue Me that I did, which was a great opportunity. And my storylines were good. There was some really, really important stuff in there. You never know what's coming your way. And it's been quiet for me the last 2 years because of everybody. The world has changed with COVID and stuff. And me being out here now, I haven't really worked a lot. And that's not a complaint. It's just an observation. I'm fine. I've worked. I have a nice little pension coming in. I don't have to work anymore. I just this new experience with this play has turned me on to the opportunities to keep myself busy out here doing some theater work.
Yeah. Well, back to movies, like I don't think anyone ever like when you say like The Quest was a bad movie, I don't think anyone plans on making a movie bad. You know what I mean?
No, no, they
So
have a certain audience, and that film did very well internationally
yeah,
because he's got such a big international follow.
yeah.
So yeah, no, nobody does that. And then I've done some small films that maybe nobody even heard about that are just wonderful. And you don't make much on them. It's sometimes it's not about. I have a friend of mine who I did a film called Silver Skies about senior citizens who were living in this complex, and then they find out that the owner of the building is selling it, and they have to leave within 30 days. And
Oh
it's
my
about
God.
them scampering around and trying to get. And I got to work with Alex Rocco and with Barbara Bain and Marion Hartley and some of these wonderful older actors and George Hamilton. I got to
Oh
work.
my God. We love
Yeah.
George Hamilton.
Well, write it down. What do you guys write down the name of this thing? Silver Skies. And
Silver Skies.
he and I were inseparable during that time period. So you take the jobs as they come. Sometimes they clunkers. Sometimes a lot of times too, you're in and out in 2-3 days. You go in
Yeah.
for a couple of days. I remember when I did the movie Crash that won an Academy Award. I did
Yeah.
that to friends of mine, Bobby Moresco and Paul Haggis. They asked me if I'd come and do a day on it. I said, all right, I'll come and do a day on it. And I went and did a day. And you never know how the film's going to come out. But then all of a sudden, I saw the film. I said, wow, this is a good film. And then it won the Academy Award.
Yeah.
So
Crash is one of my top 10
yeah,
movies.
you go out to work and you never know if it's going to be a clunker or, that's what I said. It's a lot of times it's about the people that you
Yeah.
work with that make it so important.
I did want to ask you a couple questions about Crash because
Okay.
I'm a Crash fan, but your character, although just one scene, it was like the highlight of the whole movie because you sold the gun and then you the blank. So like in a way, the whole movie evolved around that one scene, and I
Well,
wanted to know.
that's where the racism started.
Yeah,
That's where that thing started. And here's the thing you said. You just said you sold the gun and then sold the blanks. I don't know if I did. It was I wasn't sure, and I never asked Bobby Moresco about this because I said, "All right, what kind of?" I want to explain the different types of bullets there were, and
right.
and, and so what kind of what do you want? And then I told her, and she says those ones up there in the red box. And I said to her, you sure? And she says, just give them to me. There's a question that people have had when I went to Q&As. Did I know that they were blanks in that box? Or did she know there were blanks in the box, that she was just protecting her father so her father wouldn't kill somebody?
Yeah, I thought it was both. Yeah,
Well, you don't know. And even at the end, when he uses the gun, you don't realize that's when you realize that they were blank. So there was a lot of stuff to play with in that one particular scene.
yeah. And like what I really don't like notice on that, because I also like write scripts and stuff. I haven't sold any, so don't worry about it. I won't be calling you to do it anytime soon.
Oh, let me tell you something. You call me to do it, I'll do it anyway.
Oh, awesome. Cool. All right. But it like the Crash is one of those classic save the cat things where like if you see a gun, it better go off by the end of it. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's why it did go off.
Yeah.
But
So
thankfully enough, there was enough thought put into the script to make sure that they were blanks.
yeah.
Because then he gets to come back to his child that was under the bed. Yeah, it was quite wonderful.
Yeah. And then my second Crash question is I'm going to screw up her name, but what was it like working with Baha? Because I think she's so talented and like she's only done Crash and she did the Saw movie. And I think she was one of those actresses that like a true good talented actress. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you just don't know. You just don't know what's going to happen. You don't know who sticks around or what. And she may be working in Europe. You
Yeah.
know, you never know. You see these people, and all of a sudden you say, "Wow, I wonder whatever happened to that guy." And there's they're still working. You know, I'm still working. You never know which one of these films is gonna send you to the show. You know, when I remember when I did The Fighter, I didn't know. You know, I knew the people involved were pretty good. Wahlberg and Christian Bale and Amy Adams and Melissa Leo. They won
Yeah.
the 2 Academy Awards won for that, and you don't know until the end result. And David O. Russell, you know, I worked with for 2 months up in Boston with Christian Bale, and I never realized he was British until we started doing press on the film.
Oh, I
'Cause
didn't know he was British.
he is British,
Holy,
yeah,
wow.
and because he never broke character.
Yeah.
He played in character the whole time. When we, I go to see him at his hotel with his wife and his kid, swim in the pool with them, knock around with them. He loved the fact that I like to sing oldies from '60s music, and he'd always had me singing on the side before we went in. He was just the sweetest guy in the world. But what a brilliant actor!
What's your favorite song you like to sing?
Well, I used to sing for a group called Young Rascals. Do you remember the Young Rascals? You may. They had songs like "Good Lovin'" and
Uh,
"Groovin' on a Sunday afternoon."
Whoa.
Couldn't get away too soon. No. I like all the oldies. I like Billy Joel. You know,
Yeah.
I like Billy Joel. I like Springsteen. You know, I'm mostly I'm stuck back in the '60s and '70s. But
Whoa.
that's what I started out doing as a kid. That's who I thought I wanted to be, but that never happened. But
Well, it could happen now. You because there's all these talented TV shows like American Idol or something. You could
yeah,
blow.
I'm not getting. I'm with you. Can you picture me going on fucking American Idol? Get the
No,
fuck.
but I was I
Yeah,
was just trying
exactly.
to.
Victor, thank you very much.
Oh my God.
I wasn't
Oh,
sure if Victor was still alive. And
oh
all of
no,
a sudden,
I'm still alive. I'm playing double dutch here, trying to like find out when it's cool to jump in, you know. And I was just
no,
thinking,
jump in, man.
oh, sorry, Jack. I was just thinking, like, to knock piggyback off what Keith just said. But I mean,
Yeah.
you have amazing vocals. You have amazing pipes. Have you written like any type of like television show or your own musical of your
You
own,
know
where
what?
like you could?
I have to be quite honest with you. I haven't. I start, but I never get very far at all. And then I'm easily distracted,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm not a guy who's a writer. If I hooked up with somebody that we could talk about what I've had people tell me, man, you should write a book. I says I can't even like reading. What do you want me to do? Writing. You know,
Yeah.
if somebody that I could co-conspire with, maybe that would be a possibility. But I don't take all of that. I'm not as disciplined as I'd like to be. I'm not as disciplined as other people would like me to be.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking though, because I write scripts and also like Keith, I haven't sold any, but like I have different genres. And I'm like, the only thing that's missing from here is music. Why can't I sing? Why can I not compose? Why can I not write a song? And I'm just like, hey, Jack, I don't know if you like Fat Mexican guys, but hey, listen, even if you don't, maybe we can work on a project together.
Well,
Not trying
sure,
to,
why not? I'll
you
help
know?
you the way I can. And you know, there's the sense of humor that comes out. As soon as you see somebody, you remind you of my other friend, Jose, who just has the greatest look too, and he had the greatest laugh, but he was quiet until I went after him, and then I couldn't fucking shut him up. He opened it up, you know. So yeah,
Well, consider Victor Jose too, because that's Victor.
I'll conspire. No, there's only one Victor. There's only one Victor.
Thank you.
But yeah, I'm open to that. I don't know what the process could be like. Whether it be a series of interviews, and I go down the line with the either year by year or 3 or 4, give you a progression as to what it's like. It's been pretty interesting, you know. Growing up in a building that 1,000 people lived in when I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know, the projects, 10 buildings just in that community, the projects in the South Bronx. That's 10,000 people within a 2-block square area.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that experience of just knowing the visceral, the languages, the accents, the this and that, the people, the colors, this all the culture and stuff that went on. I learned how to sing with the black guys in the hallways in the South Bronx. You
Oh,
know,
nice.
I learned how to sing with those guys and sing doo-wop, and then it's just so the music has really been the thing that I'm most comfortable with.
Did they rap too? Do you know how to
No,
rap?
they didn't.
Oh,
They didn't.
Jeez, come on, dude. Jesus Christ.
This is pre-rap.
oh, pre-rap. Okay.
This is when music was music,
Oh,
before.
okay.
Yeah, it was different. Yeah, it was just different. You
Yeah.
know,
I'm just amazed by your pipes. They just really opened me up. I'm just like, wow, he's so angelic. Like, this is amazing.
I was impressed.
Most of my stuff is that I've done is the James Brown stuff, the Temptations. I got sunshine, oh babe, on a cloudy day when it's cold outside. I got the Mother May. Yeah, so all that's kind of that's that fun stuff.
Yeah.
So it's my release, and it's what I enjoy.
I think that is so awesome. Have you ever gone to a grocery store and just randomly just started singing to everybody?
Well, no, I don't. I don't. No, like maybe I'll.
Because I saw this play called Rent, and I thought that was kind of cool.
Okay. Yeah. That was kind of cool. Victor, what are you laughing about?
I'm just saying, it's like, I saw this play, so this is how life is. Everyone breaks out in song, and they go around, and they keep singing. Like, hello, Jack. How's it going today?
Yeah. You forgot my fucking tomatoes.
Tomato.
Tomato.
Would you like paper or plastic?
Victor, that was one of the songs that was in the show I just did. You say tomato, I say tomato, you say da-da-da, so you just, wow.
Oh my God, I just did that because I've heard that before in the past, and I'm just like, my brain, that's how I learned English.
And that was one of the songs from this show.
Wow.
Wow.
I was just trying to be silly. I didn't know it was like, oh, wow, this is crazy. We got to make a television show or a movie. I already have it written out. I just need the music. I need an original score.
Or a comedy act, Tomato and Tomato.
That would be the best. Oh man, we're giving all the rifters our secrets because that's a show that will sell tomato. Oh my God.
Yeah, maybe only 2 people would buy it, but we'd have fun making it. We'd have fun making it, though, wouldn't we?
Well, speaking of singing, you've also worked with Vanilla Ice and Cool as Ice. So, like, how is that? Like,
I had the opportunity. Ron Howard, who I've worked for 4 or 5 times, he was doing the movie Parenthood.
Yeah,
and I got offered a role in Parenthood to work. I don't know, 2 or 3 days, and then at the same time got an offer to work on Cool as Ice. And it was the same money. And I had worked for Ron Howard before. So I said, I'll probably work for him again. But I was wondering what was the deal with this Vanilla Ice they had heard about this guy. So I wound up taking the job for as Cool as Ice. And it wasn't a great movie, but he was okay. He was all right. I mean, he was young and he was learning himself. This may have been his first and only movie. I'm not sure. But I made the choice based on the opportunity to work with somebody who was somebody in pop culture that was really hot at the time.
Yeah. Was he cool as ice, like they say? Like,
well, he was an idiot, but he was a sweet idiot. No, he was okay. He was okay. He treated his fans that came to the set to see. He treated them very well. He was very good to these to all of the kids that came to see.
Yeah, he does. He does seem like he's a cool guy like that. Like he seems like he's pretty, which I like.
I didn't get to know him really well, but he was very good to the fans that came around. He was very good to the couple of kids who were on the show. He was nice. It's not his fault that he had talent, but he was a one-hit wonder, and for a short period of time, And he's still making a living. He's still bouncing around in clubs. All you need is one shot to keep on working for all your career, unless unless you throw it all the way up your nose or drink it all up. You know.
Well, he actually did do another movie. It was called Ninja Turtles, and in this movie, he played Vanilla Ice, and the Ninja Turtles like jumped in because they're fighting Shredder. I have autism, so I know a lot about Ninja Turtles, and so they were fighting Shredder, and then like Vanilla Ice is like his concert's interrupted, so then he just starts. He's like, "Go Ninja, go Ninja, go!" Like it was like, yeah.
Yeah, he was okay. He was an all right guy.
Yeah, I feel really stupid telling you that story now. Anyways,
why?
I don't know. I feel like
it's not like you're talking to two brain surgeons. You know what I mean? It's just me and Victor, the new writing team.
Oh, that was awesome, man. But so I wanted to ask you about Rescue Me because you were on the show and then you got slowly off the show. And I wanted to know, like, what was that just by the writers, or what was the direction of that? Or contract was up?
Let's put it this way: it wasn't my choice to leave the show.
Okay.
I think there was some chatter about my preparation, which I never understood, and I don't know. I have my suspicions as to what happened and who did it, but that's been a long time ago, and I've chose to put it into the memory bank as a positive thing. So I lasted 4 seasons on there, and that was a great opportunity. It put me in not the category, but it put me on the map. Let's say. Because it was such a popular show, and I had great storylines and a great following, and it opened up a lot of doors for me as well. So why I didn't, all I can say is I did not want to leave. Because they had me put a gun to my head in that show, and what I really wanted to do is put a gun to somebody else's head. That's what I'll leave it at.
Right, yeah. I get that. Yeah.
Because I don't want to talk. I don't want to air dirty laundry and stuff like that. Because it happened, and I don't know why it happened, but it happened. So.
And we all, like the sailors say, we all have dirty laundry somewhere.
Right. And and sometimes people say to you, well, what happened? And they'll say, I don't know what happened. It's a really, really interesting journey when you get written out of a show.
Well, next time someone asks you that, if they ever ask you, just say, "Oh, I forgot to learn how to hose people," or whatever.
Well, I'm not. I'm also not. I'm not bitter about it anymore. I was hurt about it. I was embarrassed about it, but I'm not bitter about it anymore. Because if I don't want to live with that.
Yeah, I was just trying to give you a joke answer, like the hose fight. But clearly, as a stand-up comic, not all of them are good.
No, you got to throw that out there and see what shit hits the wall and sticks.
Exactly.
Don't stop on my behalf, babe.
And then I wanted to ask you about this was an independent movie, I think, but it was called Very Mean Men.
Yes,
and it had
never got released.
Yeah, and I saw it because my friend was in it, and he played he was Ricky the Rat or something. He was yeah, and I thought it was a very funny movie.
It was a funny movie.
Yeah,
it's just that the guy who made the movie was bitter about for whatever reason or other, and I don't even remember his name now, but he held on to it and he never released it. I've seen it at a screening, and they were great people. I got to work with Charles Durning. Charles Durning was the guy that I was told that I looked like for all of my career, and I got to work with him and then some other great actors, Tony Franciosa, and a lot of good people, and it was a fun experience. Once
Yeah.
again, a low budget film.
Yeah, and so like that was my question is like when you get scripts for low budget films and you like you have to see something special about it for you wanting to say yes, right?
Well, I think it has to do with too is it has to do with where it comes from. You know who it comes from. If you
Yeah.
guys send me something, you got somebody that's stupid enough to lend you the money to make it, and because I met you, I said, "What am I? I've got my dream already.
Yeah.
I've worked, and blah blah this and that. Well, I enjoy. I've done it quite a few times. I'll go in and do a day for somebody, and I don't need to take these kids' money. I just want to. If I'd like to be part of somebody else's dream, you know.
Oh.
You know what I mean? I'm serious. It sounds sappy, but it's true because
No, yeah.
I know what it's like to be excited and go to that stuff, and I've had it, and it's great, and it's fine. But when somebody else is, they'll come up to me and they'll say to me, these young kids come up. They used to come up and they say to me, "Mr. McGee," I says, "Cut the Mr. McGee bullshit," you know. And then I get to make them comfortable. I says, "What are you doing?" Well, how long would it work? A day. When is it? Yeah. Okay, good. Well, we won't have much money. Did I ask you if you had money? I know you
Yeah.
don't have fucking money. Look at you. Look at the way you dress. I'll tell them. Look at you. You dress like a couple of slumps. But I'm going to take a chance that maybe, just maybe, you guys might be the new Scorsese, and
Oh
then
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
you will pay. Then you will pay. And but I get to be part of somebody else's dream. They got a movie, and I've done a lot of those. You know, and they're learning. You know,
Yeah.
they're putting together cast and crew, and they're learning how to direct. They're learning how to do this and that. It's about helping people accomplish their dreams sometimes too. You know.
Yeah. Well, I have two more questions, but I know Victor has a question, so I'm going to let Victor go first, and then
Okay.
my questions will kind of connect.
Yeah. So, Jack, I have this question. So you've had a lot of screen time, and I was wondering what experience or what piece of advice did you learn early on that's helped you throughout your career?
Be as prepared as you can. You know, with the dialogue and know the technical end of it. You know, I've been very blessed. I didn't have to get taught. When I first started out doing commercials, when they said slate, I was like, what does that mean? I didn't even know what slate meant. But of course, it means to give them your name and so they can identify it. But then I also had a gift for knowing kind of walking into a scene where without it even being marked on the floor where it was. I was always conscious about where the camera was. I try to be as prepared in that way as much as I can, and 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 have a great appreciation for what everybody around you is doing.
Yeah.
The people that don't get any of the recognition, the girls and guys that are pulling wardrobe, the girls and guys that are taking your laundry and cleaning it, the guys that are working long hours doing lighting and that are there 2 hours before you come in and 6 hours after you're gone. If you appreciate them, because my basic, because I'm still a working class guy. I've always been a guy that came from a blue collar background, and if you appreciate that for some, and I've been very lucky, and that means either the guys that are at the craft service table, or if the guys that are big name directors. You know, if everybody treats everybody the right way, we can make some magic, or at least we'll have a good time doing it. So that's really the way I like to operate, and have some fun too.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Have some fun too.
So Jack, I wanted to ask you, is there an actor that you've worked with that made you a better actor just by working with them? And like, who was that person?
Uh, well, there's nobody as good as me,
Yeah,
but
yeah, definitely. That's what I was trying to say in a nice way.
no, no, you always get the trust factor, you know, and the part of being an actor is if the three of us are doing a scene together and you guys don't have as much experience as I, that doesn't mean that I can't find a way to bring that out in you, make you comfortable, make you feel like that you're on top of the world, and give you as much confidence as possible, and tell you not to worry about stuff that has nothing to do in your world. Just concentrate on the work and develop a relationship with somebody. There's been. I mean, it's hard not to say that you don't get didn't get enjoyment about working with with Christian Bale. You
Yeah.
know, and some of the actors today are. I'm not a big. I shouldn't say that because you never know who's going to hear this. But only some of the actors that that get all the recognition. God bless them. Because
Yeah.
I don't know what the ingredient is. Because there are some people that are much more talented, much more qualified than I will ever be, but they never get the shot.
Yeah.
They never get the shot. They're in local theaters. They're struggling. They can't even get an agent. It's such a tough, crazy business. And I was one of those guys that got lucky. And I don't know why. I mean, I know I have some ability. I know it was my the way I treat people. I show up when I'm supposed to show up. I know my part, and I always love being part of a team. So there are it's hard to find fault when you work with Charles Durning, or you see somebody that you really would like to work with, but you don't know if that's going to happen or not. But everybody deserves to have a fair shot when you come onto a set and there's somebody that's new, and they're like, "Oh man, I can't believe I'm meeting you." I say, "Snap out of it. We got work to do."
Yeah.
And try to make them feel as comfortable as possible. You know.
Yeah. I got that vibe from you, when I was telling you the Vanilla Ice Ninja Turtle story.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah. Hey, listen, that's a great thing. Did you have fun when you were watching it?
No, I had more fun telling you the story, to be
Oh,
honest with you.
okay, that's good. So, do you want to tell me it again?
Uh,
Does that make you feel better? Wait a minute. I'm sure Victor's heard it. Maybe Victor can tell me your story.
Pete, you forgot that the best part of the story too. You forgot the hook. Ninja, rap, ninja,
Oh, yeah.
rap.
You see, you got Victor trained already.
I know.
Just move him along, and then he goes up there and gives it a ninja.
He didn't even mention the name of the song. That's the whole hook right there. Ninja rap. That's the name of the song.
It's called Ninja Rap.
I would not I would know that song anyway, right?
Well, no, I was going to say we could go to the store and just start singing it to people if you want, but
Can I just tell you something right now? That's not going to happen, okay, man.
okay.
Me singing Vanilla Ice. That's pretty scary. Ice Ice Baby.
Now stop. Now go. Everybody. Anyways, last question. Jack, if you could go into a time machine and talk to a younger version of Jack McGee and tell him something that you know now, it could be from yesterday or it could be 20 years ago or whatever, what advice would you tell yourself to keep going?
Oh, I tell them don't try to figure it out. Just keep working as hard as you possibly can. And contacts and contracts. My dad used to say that to me all the time. Contacts and contracts. Use them all. Don't abuse any of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Make as many contacts as you can. Make a contract with somebody to say, "I'm going to come onto your podcast today." Follow through with it. Be, if you can, as close to being a man of your word, and use the contacts. And don't give up.
Yeah.
Okay, it's easy to give up. This is a racket that's really, really crazy competitive. Because when I come out here from New York, there were 30 guys looking for the same gig as I went for, and we'd all walk in the door, and we all looked very similar. We're like, what's the difference here?
Yeah.
And I just went in that, I wound up being myself, and I wound up getting some work. And believe me, I want to go out and get every job that I go up for. But when one of the guys that I know that has 2 kids and they're in college and he's got a mortgage to pay for, when he gets that job, I make sure that those guys used to get the gig. I would make sure I text them or call them, congratulate them, because it wasn't about it's me against them. I got beat out for this or that. No, there's just these nitwits on the other side of that camera. They just want a different way,
Definitely. Well, Jack,
Yeah.
I want to respect your time, but I do have 2 more questions. If I could just ask them really fast, like just quick.
Fast speaking wise or fast?
Oh, or yeah, I just have 2 more questions.
Okay.
Okay. So we also have another
Stop laughing,
co-host.
Victor.
We
He
also
doesn't
have
realize you're fucking with him.
no.
Yeah, he knows it. He knows it.
But
I'm waiting for him to fuck with me.
no, this is actually a question that we actually have a third co-host called Alan Lee, and he actually when I told him you were doing the show, he was so excited because he loves you from Rescue Me and Crash, but unfortunately he had a stroke on Tuesday,
Oh
and
man,
so he can't talk.
that's
So
no excuse.
yeah, so I was just wondering if you could just say, "Hey, Alan Lee, good spirits" or something like that, just to
Yeah.
cheer him up.
Yeah. Hey, Alan Lee, I heard you're going through a tough time. I hope you're feeling better. Take care of yourself, and maybe we'll talk sometime in the future. Be good to
Oh.
yourself, and you got a lot of people around you that care for you.
Oh, thank you so much for that. And then my last question for you is, Jack, where can the folks at home follow and support you? Like social media, Instagram, or
I don't know the local whorehouse. I don't.
Best
mean,
answer ever.
I'm not. I am on Instagram. They can try to follow me on Instagram, and I'll respond to it. But that's all. That's new to me, and yeah, they can do. I think Instagram. It's new to me. My wife will show me how to get back on it. If they follow me on Instagram, it'll show up, right? And then I can allow them in. Let's do that. But before I go, tell me, is it Alan Lee?
Alan Lee? Yeah.
All right, and tell me an address I can send him. I want to send him a picture of Rescue Me.
Oh, that would be cool. I could text it to you.
Text or email me the address where I can send it to him.
Oh, thank you so much. He would really, really admire that.
Tell him it's going to cost $24.99.
Oh, Jack.
No.
You're the best.
All right, boys.
Thank you so much, Jack, and I'll text you that information. And it was a real honor to meet you and talk to you, and I'm glad we're friends. So thank you so much.
I'm glad we are friends, and you guys too. Hit me up on Instagram, and I'll follow you guys. And I don't know how often I'll follow you, but how long I'll follow you for. But it was great. It was great talking with you. Thanks a lot.
All right, Jack. Have a great day.
Okay, Victor.
All right.
Write that
I'm definitely hitting you up on Instagram.
Okay, you better.
Yeah, I am.
Okay, buddy.
Great video.
All right. All right. That was the episode with Jack McGee, guys. Subscribe, rate, review, tell a friend, and we'll see you guys next week on Reza Riffs.